the Affordable Care Act is becoming reality at last. How is Kaiser preparing?
How are we preparing? Well, we started a couple of years ago when the first passage occurred, because at that point there were several provisions our employer customers had to respond to, and so we implemented. One of the most popular was coverage rather, for kids up age 26.
Yes.
And that had huge uptake among our members. And now we're getting ready for the exchanges.
Well, that's the next big question, because the exchanges are going to be, among other things, huge internet undertakings. Are they going to be ready to roll on January 1st, 2014?
Well, we're acting as though they are, and particularly in places like California, which is pretty ahead of the curve,
right,
I think, on preparation. We are having lots of interactions with exchange leadership to make sure we're all ready.
Yeah. Dealing with the internet is part of your
Yes.
job. Are you having to devote a lot of time to how Kaiser will participate?
Well, some of the work is really back-end connectivity, which is less my job.
Yeah.
But at the front end, we're thinking a lot about how to get the tools in place so that people can make easy choices. And we know that a lot of the incoming eligibles are going to be people who haven't had a lot of familiarity with healthcare coverage.
Right.
So communicating and being simple and straightforward is paramount.
A number of people in the industry think that over time, under this law, fewer people will get their healthcare coverage through their employer and more people will be buying it individually on the exchanges. You think that's right? And if so, what does it mean for you?
Well, there's part of it that we know is right because of the entry of small groups into the exchanges after a couple of years. After that, though, it's a pretty wide open question about whether large employers who have had a really strong attachment to benefits that really deliver value to their employees, whether they decide that's the way to go or not. And I think that's the unanswered question.
Whether they will, the question is whether they will drop coverage for some employees. I've had some CEOs tell me, look, we're in a competitive business. If it starts to happen, we may just have to.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking to the left and the right, to their competitors and trying to understand in the war for talent, is that the way they want to go? Right.
Now, what I'm wondering about in your case is that could mean selling more coverage to individuals than you have traditionally done. It's, the business is primarily now through employers.
Correct.
Does this require new competencies? Are you developing that kind of thing?
Well, we've always had a strong competency in serving individuals because we're a healthcare delivery organization, but selling to them has been a pretty small part of the overall market up to now. And so, in fact, we are shifting a good deal of attention to making sure that the consumer sell, as opposed to the corporate sell, is something that we're very good at.